Welcome back, everyone. If you are looking to cut through all the noise and just get straight to the mechanics of how this stuff actually works, well, you're absolutely in the right place. Today, we've got a highly practical, intensely focused explainer lined up for you. We're going to break down a comprehensive tutorial that's tailored specifically for IT professionals and IT management on how to operationalize machine learning. Specifically, we're zooming in on part 7 of a fantastic 10-part tutorial. Our goal? To help you turn those chaotic, isolated machine learning experiments into rock-solid, governed enterprise systems.
Our source material for this explainer comes directly from Virtualization Options, LLC. They're a Colorado-based technology, research, education, and advisory organization. Their full series is called An Introduction to MLOps for IT Professionals. And right here in Part 7, they've put together a really brilliant framework. It maps out everything from pipeline design all the way to governance and enterprise scale. So look, this isn't just about the theoretical math of data science, right? We're taking a hard look at the operational realities of putting these systems out into the wild.
Okay, let's dive right into this with a number that should honestly grab the attention of any IT leader. 87%. According to our source material, a staggering 87% of machine learning models never even reach production. Just think about that for a second. Think about the sheer amount of time, the computational resources, and the highly paid data science talent that goes into building these models, only for nearly 9 out of 10 of them to just hit a brick wall before they deliver a single ounce of business value. It's crazy. And this is exactly the gap that MLOps, machine learning operations, is designed to close.
But wait, the crisis actually deepens for the few that do make it. Of the rare models that survive that gauntlet and actually get into production, 91% of them experience measurable performance degradation within just 9 months if they don't have active monitoring and retraining. So not only is it incredibly difficult to get a model deployed in the first place, but once it's out there, it decays fast. We're looking at a massive operational crisis here.
So how on earth do we fix this? Well, here is our roadmap for today. We'll start by unpacking the ML production crisis. Then we'll compare DevOps versus MLOps. After that, we'll look at structuring your team, the 6-stage pipeline, continuous training, and finally, wrap up with scaling anti-patterns. Let's get to it.
Section 1. The ML production crisis, and exactly why these projects fail.
To really understand this, IT leadership needs to reframe the problem. Look, it's incredibly tempting to look at a failed machine learning project and just blame the data science team, or the algorithm, or the crazy complex math. But the reality, the failure rate is fundamentally a structural problem. About 60% of all ML project failures trace back directly to data quality issues, not model architecture choices. This means the majority of your operational risk actually lives right at the beginning of the process, long before a model is ever even trained. Upstream changes in your data schema, a missing field, pipeline failures, these things will silently corrupt a model's input. So on the surface, it might look like a machine learning failure, but under the hood, it's actually a data infrastructure failure.
Moving on to Section 2, DevOps versus MLOps.
Now, if you already have a mature DevOps culture in your organization, you might assume you can just, apply your existing CI/CD pipelines to these models. But the source material makes it abundantly clear that this is a very dangerous assumption. And this brilliantly illustrates why. Traditional DevOps manages one primary artifact, your code. MLOps, on the other hand, well, it has to manage code and data and models, all at the same time. All 3 of these components literally have to be versioned, tested, and deployed together. This creates a sort of 3-dimensional complexity that makes operationalizing machine learning uniquely challenging compared to your standard software deployments.
Which brings us to Section 3, structuring your team.
Because of that 3-dimensional complexity we just talked about, before we even touch infrastructure or cloud tools, we absolutely must organize the humans properly. Ambiguity about who actually owns a production model? That's a direct path to fragile, undocumented, and ultimately broken deployments. So let's look at this breakdown. You have the data scientist, whose primary focus is developing the model logic and the evaluation metrics. Then, down at the bottom, you have the MLOps engineer, who handles the underlying platform layer and infrastructure as code. But that middle row right there is where organizations constantly stumble. The ML engineer. Their job is pipeline automation, model packaging, and serving infrastructure. The most common pitfall we see is companies just skipping this ML engineer role entirely. And when they do that, they force their data scientists, who remember are trained to experiment, to manage production software systems. Look, data scientists are brilliant at math, but asking them to manage Kubernetes, that's a recipe for operational disaster. You absolutely must hire for engineering discipline.
All right, Section 4, the 6-stage pipeline.
Once you have the right people in the right seats, then you can define the process. Here is the exact 6-stage life cycle every model must safely travel through, moving from raw, untamed data into a governed, enterprise-grade production asset. It starts with data engineering to prep the data, moves into model development for that experimentation phase, and then model packaging to containerize the asset. Stage 4 is deployment via automated strategies, but I want you to look really closely at stages 5 and 6, monitoring and feedback, and governance. This right here is where IT oversight becomes absolutely critical. We're talking tracking drift, managing audit trails, maintaining model lineage, and ensuring regulatory compliance, like adhering to the EU AI Act, for example. This is not optional stuff. These latter stages are mandatory for mitigating enterprise risk.
Let's jump to Section 5, Continuous Training.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it highlights the automation we need to manage this pipeline at scale. It fundamentally changes the operational workflow. We all know continuous integration and continuous delivery from traditional software, right? But continuous training, or CT, is the absolute secret sauce that is completely unique to machine learning. It's the process of automatically retraining models on a set schedule, or better yet, dynamically retraining them when data drift is detected. The big takeaway here, these retraining pipelines are triggered automatically by the monitoring systems themselves, not by human developers. By setting explicit thresholds, you completely remove the human bottleneck from the feedback loop. You're basically allowing the system to heal and update itself. It's brilliant.
Finally, Section 6, Scaling Anti-Patterns.
Of course, building all of this out isn't always smooth sailing. According to our source material, most MLOps failures are entirely self-inflicted. As organizations try to scale up from, say, a single pilot project to an enterprise-wide capability, they tend to make the exact same avoidable mistakes. Let's rapid-fire through the top 3 offenders here. First up, notebook-driven production. Jupyter notebooks are fantastic for exploring data, but they lack version control, they aren't modular, and they absolutely do not belong in production, period. Second, manual deployment. Emailing model files or manually copying artifacts, that completely breaks your audit trail. Every single deployment must go through an automated pipeline, no exceptions. And third, and perhaps the deadliest of all, no post-deployment monitoring. This whole deploy and forget mentality is exactly why we saw that 91% degradation statistic earlier. Without monitoring, your model is decaying, and you won't even know it until your business metrics take a highly visible hit.
If there is one core summary you take away from this explainer today, it's this statement right here. MLOps is foundational infrastructure, not a project. You have to treat it exactly like you treat your data warehouse or your core CI/CD platform. It requires sustained investment, dedicated engineering teams, and strict organizational discipline. It is not just a one-time implementation with a firm end date. It's an ongoing operational muscle you have to build.
Which leaves us with this final, critical thought for you to chew on. You really need to connect every model you build to a trackable business KPI. Ask yourself, if you can't measure your model's direct contribution to revenue, cost reduction, or risk mitigation today, can you truly justify your MLOps investment to your stakeholders? MLOps isn't just about playing with cool tools, it is about reliably generating real business value. Thanks for diving into this structured breakdown with me, and I'll catch you on the next explainer.